Hey Inklings, it's Caleb with InklingsFiction.com, and today I am bringing to you guys the first part of the Get Her Done series. And obviously, the Get Her Done series is for getting your very first book done or your next book done. Odds are it'll probably be your first book though, because once you do your first one, you usually have it down. Like you usually sort of get like how you're going to get all your next books done because you've done it once, and you're like, oh, writing a book is a lot easier than I thought it was all this time. What was I doing these past 5 years, as you can see right here, the first part of this series is got a little notepad with a pencil with it, and that's because the very first part of the series is about getting a pencil and a notepad. So the reason why I highly recommend having a notepad, be it a sticky note, steno pad, or whatever other kind of notebook you can come up with, the reason why I recommend those over something, say, like a cell phone, is because there's something about the tactile feel of writing down your ideas. They've actually done studies, believe it or not, on how your brain works when you're writing stuff down, and they found that your brain is able to play with the ideas a whole lot more as it works to formulate the letters that you're writing, the next words that you're writing, possibly even sentences on. Something really cool about that is for writing down book ideas, you can figure out a whole lot more than if you were just typing it out, because again, that study about writing things down, they found that typing stuff, it doesn't work with your brain the same way. So that's a big reason why I recommend writing stuff down. Of course, you can still use your phone to write down your ideas. There are two big reasons why I recommend not using your phone to write down your ideas, though. The first one is you can actually forget your ideas as you're writing it, because your friends can actually come up and text you, and when they text you, you're going to get distracted and forget your idea. And the second reason is back to what I had said previously of when you're typing, it doesn't play with your brain the same way. So when you have your stuff all typed out, say on a Google Docs that you then share with your computer, you can just copy and paste that into your story. And as nice as that sounds, the issue is you don't then have, say, your brainstormed idea. So you got your, say, if you use Notepad, your original idea, then the 5 branches you took off in 5 other ways. You wouldn't have that if you just wrote it down in your phone, and it wouldn't be as disorganized and beautiful as some horrible web map, and I understand some people like the organization, but the problem is a lot of people's brains don't work as organized as they like to be, and your brain likes to play around and scramble some stuff sometimes, and when you're writing a book, allowing things to get scrambled is actually one of the best things you can do, because when it's all broken apart, you can actually put things back together in a way that you wouldn't have done initially, but you can do better the second time around, because your brain likes doing puzzles. No matter what other people say sometimes about how your brain likes doing some simple things, their brains like doing puzzles. That's why puzzles are a specific thing that people do for fun, So there's that whole thing. And when you are just copying down your ideas off the Google Docs, you again are starving yourself of the ability to play with the ideas that you could have written down, because as you're going from, say, you wrote down your notes, as you're typing those back into your computer, you're having yet another chance to then play with the idea. So if you do go down the Google Doc route and doing it all on maybe even your notes feature on your phone, please be sure to just not copy and paste that into a story. Write down, retype it all in, be like, all right, here's what I'm typing out, and that gives your brain at least some sort of chance to go through it and play with the idea a little bit. Again, it's not scientifically proven. It's not as good as writing it down on paper, but it beats nothing. So some pro tips. So I like using the Post-it note brand sticky notes. I found that the sticky part is better, and for me, I like actually using the sticky part of my sticky notes. And I also recommend a mechanical pencil. They have a few more miles on the lead, if you know what I mean there. It's you can actually put more lead in and all that stuff, as opposed to a normal pencil. You'll have to sharpen it every few words, and I've been completely converted over to mechanical pencils. And if you have your eraser running low, be sure to carry around an eraser, or just with mechanical pencil, you could just replace the eraser. I don't normally buy those replacement erasers because it's cheaper to buy more pencils usually, but So those are just some pro tips for me for writing down notes on your little notepads here. So that is the biggest thing for this very first tip in part 1 of this series. I hope it really helped you guys. I understand that it's such a simple thing, but it really does help. And if you guys would like to see the rest of the series, please subscribe to my channel. You can check out all the other videos that I have. I'm going to be making more videos more as time goes on. Sorry for the slur there. Oi. Basically, I believe that the best way a lot of us can get our stories done is to actually be writing down all these notes and making the most of every second of our day. By carrying around notepads every second of every day, it allows our brains to always be thinking of the next big thing for our story. That can help us so much as we are just sitting down and typing in our stories at the computer. We don't have to spend 5 hours coming up with the next thing to do because we already wrote down the next 55 steps. It's sort of like the whole plotting versus pantsing argument. Some people like being plotters, some people like being pantsers. This is sort of like a semi-pantser but sort of plotter sort of thing that you can do. And it's just something you can do in your everyday life. And a lot of people do a lot of thinking as they just go about their lives. So, you might as well capitalize that and write down the ideas you come up with. There's no point in just coming up with ideas for no reason after all. So I hope that really helps. Write you guys' story. God put a story in all of us. So write on and God bless.